Technology Intelligence. Brief of General Inventions, LLC. GenInvents. Top technologies and their strategic fit. Inside the HYDC Citiwerx Smart Cities Development. Hello, I'm C. Cortland Hooper, PhD and Chief Systems Integrator. This is a confidential strategic brief and exploration of what I call the Skunk Works type internal operation that will help HYDC Smart Cities keep ahead of the pack in the emerging smart cities development space after exploring GenInvent.com and conversing with Tom, who is a prolific generator of some of the most consequential and promising inventions I've encountered in recent years. The brain trust within HYDC will certainly be highly enriched with his participation in the transformational undertakings of HYDC's mission. Executive Summary. Technologies develop today at a torrid pace. The best keep evolving so not to become irrelevant and left in the dust. To that end, HYDC Smart Cities, with its Citiwerx platform, will have a skunkworks-type compartment built into its technology stack to refine and improve what it has and stay well ahead of the pack in the emerging smart cities development space. It will be applied to all of its core technologies and even create new ones perhaps not yet imagined. The distribution and sales or licensing of its output will continually magnify the independent and diverse income streams of its build-own-operate (BOO) model, a feature no other competitor has been found to even be thinking of, and one which gives HYDC's stock a Microsoft-like potential. The driving engine of this Skunk Works operation is General Inventions, LLC, GenInvent, at GenInvent.com, a deep technology invention and development firm with a multi-industry portfolio spanning advanced computing chips, graphene materials science, AI hardware acceleration, energy systems, smart infrastructure, building electrical systems, biomedical devices, and environmental technologies. Its portfolio is organized into granted patents, patents pending, and several hundred additional applications ready for filing, representing one of the broadest multi-domain invention portfolios held by a single private firm. This analysis reviews the full publicly available GenInvent technology portfolio and identifies the technologies with the highest strategic relevance to the HYDC Citiwerx Smart Cities initiative, evaluating each against the 6 core dimensions of the Citiwerx mission: energy sovereignty, water management, digital intelligence, resident quality of life, infrastructure resilience, and independent income generation. 6 technologies stand above the rest in terms of immediate applicability, operational impact, and revenue potential. Each is analyzed in depth, followed by a synthesis showing how they integrate with the existing Citiwerx technology stack. Turbogen microgrid, iLamp AI infrastructure, drip-drop atmospheric water generation, and the Hooper Group Energy Triad, to create a smart city that is more capable, more efficient, more resilient, and more profitable than any comparable urban development program in the world. The GenInvent portfolio is not a catalog of products waiting for a market. It is an inventory of solutions waiting for a city sophisticated enough to deploy them at full integration. Citiwerx is that city. Hello, I'm C. Cortland Hooper, PhD and Chief Systems Integrator for Citiwerx. Let me share with you the first 6 major technology endeavors which will be at the head of the R&D stack as HYDC comes to market in its IPO. Number 1, Deterministic AI Decision Accelerator, Triune System. What it is. The Deterministic AI Decision Accelerator. The Triune System is a hardware chip designed to eliminate the probabilistic guesswork that causes AI systems to make errors, consume excessive energy, and place unsustainable computational load on CPUs and GPUs. Rather than allowing AI inference to follow uncertain probabilistic pathways, The chip enforces structured, step-by-step deterministic logic at the hardware level, meaning decisions are made by rule rather than by statistical approximation. The specifications are extraordinary. Up to 98% reduction in AI decision errors and uncertainty. Offloading of 40% to 90% of the workload from CPU and GPU, substantially increasing their processing speed. Reduction in AI energy consumption of 20% to 70%. Designed to plug into existing computing systems without requiring the replacement of current hardware infrastructure. Why it is critical to Citiwerx. The entire Citiwerx digital platform operates on AI-driven decision-making, traffic optimization, energy routing, water system management, safety monitoring, predictive maintenance, environmental response, and resident services automation. Every one of these functions runs AI inference continuously, 24 hours a day, across a network of servers, edge computing nodes, and iLamp AI units. The quality and speed of those decisions is the quality and speed of the city's intelligence. The iLamp network deploys NVIDIA Jetson AGX Orin AI compute modules at every street pole. Each unit processes computer vision, traffic analysis, environmental sensing, and sells surplus compute to cloud AI workloads. Installing the Triune System Accelerator chip in each Jetson module reduces its energy consumption by 20 to 70%. Extends battery life on solar-powered units, increases the surplus compute available for sale through AI factories, and reduces the error rate in safety-critical detection systems to near zero. The Citiwerx digital platform's central orchestration layer makes thousands of optimization decisions per minute across energy routing, water production, traffic management, and resource allocation. The Triune chip reduces the computational load on platform servers by up to 90%, meaning the same server infrastructure handles dramatically more decision volume, eliminating the need for expensive infrastructure scaling as the city grows. The AI factories, as part of GenInvent, GPU compute revenue stream, directly benefits the iLamp. If iLamp units consume 20 to 70% less energy on AI processing, more of their solar-generated power is available for the compute revenue workload. Revenue per unit increases proportionally. Independent revenue potential Citiwerx townships running NVIDIA Jetson compute across the iLamp network represent a significant deployment base for Triune chip licensing. As Citiwerx franchises across India's 104 Tier 2 cities and globally, every franchise deployment is another Triune licensing opportunity. GenInvent licenses this technology per chip, a recurring revenue stream that scales with every iLamp unit deployed worldwide. HYDC, as an early adopter and anchor licensee, is positioned to negotiate equity participation in the licensing revenue from the global iLamp deployment. Number 2. Full Graphene Manufacturing System. Advanced Materials Platform. What it is. General Inventions. Full Graphene Manufacturing System is a complete industrial process that converts raw graphite into high-quality graphene at atomic precision, including monolayer graphene, a single atom thick, and the critical magic angle graphene ribbons, MAGR, that multiple laboratory results have demonstrated can achieve superconducting electrical properties. The system produces 3 distinct ribbon types: atomically straight ribbons, 1.1 degree angled ribbons, together forming MAGR with superconducting potential, and 45-degree zigzag ribbons that combine with straight ribbons to form multi-layer structural graphene ribbons, MLSGR, materials described as dramatically stronger than steel, lighter than aluminum, and inherently weatherproof. The manufacturing system encompasses purification, precision shaping, layering, and final device integration, making graphene production scalable, commercially viable, and applicable across energy, computing, structural, and electrical domains simultaneously. Why it is critical to Citiwerx. Graphene is not one application. It is an enabling material platform that accelerates and improves virtually every technology already deployed in Citiwerx. The implications across the smart city ecosystem are cascading. Turbogen microgrid enhancement. Graphene-based electrical conductors have dramatically lower resistive losses than copper, meaning the distribution wiring throughout a Citiwerx township transmits more of the power generated by turbogen to the point of use, with less wasted as heat. In a township-scale power network, this efficiency gain translates directly to reduced fuel consumption and lower operating cost. Superconducting potential for zero-loss power transmission. If magic angle graphene ribbons achieve superconducting properties at or near room temperature, as laboratory results suggest is possible, Citiwerx townships built with MAGR-based power distribution infrastructure would transmit electricity with zero resistive loss. No heat, no voltage drop. Every watt generated reaches its destination. This would be the single largest efficiency gain in the history of electrical distribution. iLamp and Citiwerx computing infrastructure. Multi-layer graphene logic systems as described in the GenInvent chip portfolio, see technology number 3 below, use MLSGR as their structural and functional substrate, meaning graphene manufacturing is the upstream enabler of the entire graphene chip platform. The city's computing infrastructure, built on graphene logic, becomes faster, more powerful, and more energy efficient than any silicon-based alternative. Structural applications in construction. MLSGR, described as stronger than steel and lighter than aluminum when used in building construction throughout Citiwerx townships, reduces structural material requirements, lowers construction costs, and improves seismic and wind resistance, critical properties in India's diverse climate and geological risk environment. Battery technology. Graphene-enhanced battery systems, connecting to the self-powered graphene pacemaker's battery architecture principles, enable longer duration storage in the Turbogen microgrid's battery buffer network and in iLamp's onboard energy storage, extending off-grid operation time and improving the economics of solar charge systems. Independent revenue potential in India has no domestic graphene manufacturing capability at commercial scale. A Citiwerx integrated graphene manufacturing facility producing structural graphene ribbons, graphene electrical conductors, and graphene chip substrates serves not just the township's own construction and technology needs, but the broader Indian infrastructure market that is about to spend $1.5 trillion on smart city development. HYDC, as the anchor customer and co-investor in a graphene manufacturing facility, would hold a position in the most transformative materials business in India's construction and technology sector. Number 3. Magic Angle Graphene. Photonic Computer Chip, Next-Generation Computing Platform. What it is. The Magic Angle Graphene Photonic Computer Chip combines 3 technologies into a single device: graphene-based electronic transistors, photonic, light-based switches for ultra-fast signal propagation, and built-in translators that allow electrons and photons to communicate within the same chip. The result is a computing device described as capable of operating up to 9 orders of magnitude faster than existing electronic chip technology, that is, up to 1 billion times faster, while consuming dramatically less energy than silicon-based processors. This is not an incremental improvement on existing semiconductor technology. It is a different computing paradigm, one in which the fundamental speed limit of silicon-based electronics, the RC time constant of transistor switching, is eliminated by replacing electronic switching with photonic switching, and in which the structural material of the chip is simultaneously the conductor, the logic element, the memory, and the battery. Why it is critical to Citiwerx. The Citiwerx Smart City platform is, at its core, a computing challenge. Orchestrating real-time energy routing, water production optimization, traffic management, safety monitoring, environmental response, vertical farm control, resident services, and AI factories compute revenue across an entire city requires processing power that scales with the city's complexity. As Citiwerx townships grow and the number of connected devices, sensors, and data streams increases, the computing infrastructure must grow with it. Citiwerx Platform Server Upgrade. Path. Replacing the Citiwerx platform's central orchestration servers with graphene photonic processors that are up to 1 billion times faster means the entire city's intelligence layer processes data at speeds that enable truly real-time response to every event across every system simultaneously, without the latency compromises that current silicon-based computing requires. iLamp Edge. Compute multiplication. Each iLamp unit's NVIDIA Jetson AGX Orin currently delivers 275 TOPS of AI performance. A graphene photonic chip in the same form factor would deliver this performance, or orders of magnitude more, at a fraction of the energy cost. This means each iLamp unit processes more AI workloads locally, sells more compute through AI factories, and generates dramatically more GPU revenue per unit deployed. AI factories' competitive moat. The global AI compute market is currently served by NVIDIA GPU-based data centers. A city whose edge compute network runs on graphene photonic chips, orders of magnitude faster and dramatically more energy efficient than GPU-based alternatives, commands premium pricing for its compute capacity. The AI factory's revenue per unit increases proportionally with performance advantage. Digital platform scalability. As the Citiwerx franchise expands across 104 Indian Tier 2 cities and then globally, the digital platform's computing load grows with every new city. Graphene photonic processors enable this scaling without the proportional infrastructure investment that silicon-based scaling requires. Independent revenue potential. The global semiconductor market exceeds $600 billion annually and is projected to reach $1 trillion by 2030. A computing chip 9 orders of magnitude faster than existing technology, manufactured in a graphene production facility co-located with Citiwerx infrastructure, is the most commercially valuable technology in this entire analysis. HYDC's position as co-developer and anchor customer for this technology creates an IP position in the most important materials and computing technology of the 21st century. Number 4. Advanced Building Electrical System, breaker, plus panel, plus gangbox ecosystem. What it is. The Advanced Building Electrical System is a fully redesigned residential, commercial, and industrial electrical installation ecosystem, encompassing breaker panels, gangboxes, cable clamp systems, and the companion 20-product plug-and-play suite that turns the entire electrical installation process into a system so intuitive that, in GenInvent's own words, a 9-year-old could install it with the power live, because the installer never has access to the live components at any point in the process. The system achieves substantially faster and simpler installation, reduced copper usage across the entire building, improved safety and reliability under load conditions, easier maintenance and upgrades throughout the building's lifetime, and, through the quick-release electrical box cable clamp system, wires that are secured and released quickly for modification without rewiring the entire circuit. The companion breaker plus generator transfer switch combo unit combines circuit protection and generator switching in one device, simplifying backup power installation and improving reliability. Why it is critical to Citiwerx townships are construction projects of extraordinary scale, 130,000 homes across 8 Indian cities in the initial phase, with global franchise expansion to follow. Every single unit requires electrical installation. The electrical system is one of the most labor-intensive, time-consuming, and error-prone phases of residential and commercial construction in India and globally. A redesigned electrical system that dramatically reduces installation time and complexity while reducing copper usage and improving safety is not a marginal improvement. It is a fundamental construction economics advantage that compounds across hundreds of thousands of units. Construction speed. Faster electrical installation per unit directly reduces the construction timeline for each Citiwerx township phase. In a program targeting 5,000 units per year across multiple cities simultaneously, even a 20% reduction in electrical installation time per unit translates to hundreds of additional units completed per year from the same labor force, without additional skilled electrician headcount. Reduced copper usage. Copper is one of the most significant variable cost components in residential construction. The advanced building electrical system's reduced copper usage lowers material cost per unit. Across 130,000 units, the aggregate copper savings represent millions of dollars of construction cost reduction. Maintenance and upgrade economics. Citiwerx townships are smart cities that will continuously upgrade their electrical infrastructure, adding EV charging points, smart meter systems, demand response controls, and additional circuits as technology evolves. An electrical system designed for easy modification and quick-release cable management reduces the cost of every future upgrade across the entire township. Generator integration, the breaker plus generator transfer. Switch combo unit simplifies the installation of the backup power systems that every Citiwerx unit requires, connecting seamlessly to the TurboGen microgrid's distribution architecture and ensuring that every residence and commercial unit maintains power continuity through any grid event. Safety record for premium pricing. Citiwerx townships compete on quality of life. An electrical system with documented superior safety performance and reliability is a marketing differentiator, reducing the risk of electrical fire, shock, or failure incidents that would damage the township's reputation and premium pricing position. Independent revenue potential. India is building 5 million new housing units per year, with a target of 93 million units by 2036. Every unit requires electrical installation. The Advanced Building Electrical System, licensed as the standard electrical infrastructure for Citiwerx construction and offered as a product to the broader Indian construction market, is a recurring revenue business with an addressable market measured in tens of millions of installations annually. GenInvent's licensing model means HYDC participates in royalties from every unit of the system deployed, whether in Citiwerx townships or in the broader market that Citiwerx's adoption validates. Number 5. Automated Powerline Cable Release System. Grid Resilience Technology. What it is. The Automated Powerline Cable Release System automatically disconnects and reconnects power transmission lines when they are damaged by external events, falling trees, ice loading, storm damage, or overload conditions. The system detects the failure condition in real time and releases the line immediately, preventing the cascade failure that occurs when a single damaged line remains connected to the grid and drags down the entire network. When conditions clear, the system automatically reconnects the line and restores service without manual intervention. The design goal is to radically reduce both damage to powerline infrastructure during storm events and recovery time for end users, replacing the hours or days of outage that currently follow storm-related line damage with an automated response measured in minutes. Why it is critical to Citiwerx. Citiwerx townships are designed to be grid-independent for their internal power needs. TurboGen microgrid and iLamp solar power handle internal generation, but Citiwerx townships also connect to the national grid to sell surplus power and to receive grid power during periods of unusually high demand or system maintenance. The interface between the Citiwerx microgrid and the national grid is the point of vulnerability. And in India's climate environment, with its intense monsoon storms, extreme heat events, and aging transmission infrastructure, that interface is frequently stressed. Grid connection protection. Installing the automated power line cable release system at every grid interface point in each Citiwerx township ensures that a national grid failure, whether from storm damage, overload, or cascading failure elsewhere in the network, is automatically isolated from the township's internal microgrid in milliseconds. The township stays powered. The grid failure does not propagate inward. Township power export revenue protection. When a Citiwerx township generates surplus power and sells it to the grid, a grid failure that takes down the export connection represents lost revenue. The automated release system protects the township's generation assets from backfeed damage and enables faster reconnection, minimizing lost revenue from grid export interruptions. Disaster resilience marketing. In markets where grid reliability is a chronic concern, which describes every Citiwerx target city, the ability to demonstrate automated grid fault isolation as a feature of the township's infrastructure is a premium differentiator. Residents and businesses choosing between a Citiwerx township and a conventional development choose the township precisely because it does not go dark when the grid fails. The automated cable release system is the technology that makes that promise reliable. Franchise standard. As Citiwerx deploys across India and globally, standardizing the automated power line cable release system at every grid interface reduces O&M costs across the entire portfolio and eliminates the liability exposure from grid fault events that damage township equipment. Independent revenue potential. India's Power Grid Corporation manages one of the world's largest and most stressed transmission networks. Storm-related power outages in India cause billions of dollars of economic damage annually. The automated power line cable release system, deployed across India's national grid infrastructure through a licensing agreement that HYDC is positioned to broker, leveraging its relationships with the Smart Cities Mission and state electricity boards, represents a licensing revenue stream with a national-scale addressable market. Number 6. Projectile Fire Extinguisher System. EPFE Platform, Fire Suppression Infrastructure. What it is. The EPFE platform, electrically propelled fire extinguisher, is a high-velocity targeted fire suppression system that extinguishes fires rapidly from a distance without water damage. The system fires shaped projectiles of fire-extinguishing powder that, upon impact with walls or ceilings, disperse instantly into a fine cloud that smothers the fire permanently. The system features variable velocity settings, infrared aiming apparatus, and is available in multiple deployment variants: truck-mounted, boat, airplane, helicopter, ceiling-integrated building suppression, cart-mounted portable, and integrated building-wide suppression systems. Key capabilities include rapid suppression from a safe standoff distance, dramatically reduced risk to fire suppression personnel, minimal collateral damage, no water flooding of property, and infrared guided targeting precision. Fire chief reviews cited by GenInvent position this as a scalable platform with strong market demand and recurring revenue potential. Why it is critical to Citiwerx townships contain infrastructure assets of extraordinary value: the turbogen microgrid equipment, the iLamp network, the drip-drop water generation systems, the Bethel solar thermal arrays, the Denergitech fuel production facilities, the vertical farm operations, the Citiwerx digital platform data centers, and 130,000 residential units. A fire event at any of these facilities represents both life safety risk and catastrophic financial loss. India's urban fire safety infrastructure is chronically underfunded and under-equipped. Data center and server room protection. The Citiwerx digital platform and iLamp Edge compute network require server rooms and data processing facilities throughout the township. These environments cannot be suppressed with water. Wet suppression destroys the equipment it is meant to protect. The EPFE dry powder projectile system suppresses electrical and equipment fires without water damage, preserving the hardware assets and minimizing recovery time. Vertical farm protection. Indoor growing facilities with LED lighting, electrical climate control, and hydroponic systems are high-value, high-risk fire environments. The EPFE ceiling integrated variant provides always-on suppression coverage for vertical farm facilities without the water damage risk that would destroy a crop and contaminate the hydroponic nutrient system. Energy infrastructure protection. The turbogen combustion units, the Plasma Arc MSW processing facility, the Denergy fuel production plant, and the battery storage arrays all represent combustion or high-energy density fire risks. Conventional fire suppression at these facilities requires water or chemical foam systems that damage equipment and require extensive cleanup. The EPFE powder projectile system suppresses these fires quickly, from a safe distance, with minimal collateral damage. Township-wide building integration. Every residence and commercial unit in a Citiwerx township can be equipped with ceiling-integrated EPFE suppression units as standard infrastructure, replacing conventional sprinkler systems that cause water damage orders of magnitude greater than the fire itself. This is a construction standard that HYDC can adopt across all franchises, reducing insurance costs for every unit and adding a premium safety feature that commands higher sale prices and lower insurance premiums for residents. Emergency services integration with iLamp. When an iLamp AI camera detects a fire event in its coverage area, it can trigger the nearest ceiling-integrated EPFE units and simultaneously alert emergency services with precise location data. The fire is suppressed within seconds of detection, before conventional fire services could even dispatch a vehicle. Independent revenue potential. The global fire suppression market exceeds $60 billion annually. Data center fire suppression alone is a multi-billion-dollar market growing at 15% per year as the world's AI compute infrastructure expands. Citiwerx, as an anchor customer and reference implementation for the EPFE system across hundreds of data centers, server rooms, vertical farms, and residential units, provides GenInvent with the at-scale deployment validation that the system needs to penetrate the global institutional market. HYDC's position as first franchise customer and co-developer creates licensing participation rights in every subsequent EPFE deployment worldwide. Additional technologies of strategic note. Beyond the top 6, 3 additional GenInvent technologies merit specific mention for their Citiwerx relevance. InfiniRAM memory card plus Sentinel security chip, an expandable high-capacity memory system paired with an unhackable hardware security chip that monitors hardware rather than software and blocks attack IP addresses in real time. In a Citiwerx smart city, where the digital platform, energy management, water system, traffic controls, and resident data are all managed through a networked IoT architecture, cybersecurity is not a software problem. It is an infrastructure problem. The Sentinel chip, described as requiring simultaneous compromise from both sides to breach, provides the hardware-level security foundation that the Citiwerx platform requires to protect critical infrastructure from cyber attack. As smart cities become primary targets for state-sponsored cyber operations, hardware-level unhackable security is not optional. It is existential. Rotating UVC disinfection system. A device that disinfects objects using ultraviolet light without heating them, applicable to groceries, medical supplies, tools, and personal items. In a Citiwerx township with vertical farm food production, healthcare facilities, and water treatment operations, a low-cost, chemical-free disinfection system used at the point of food preparation and distribution reduces contamination risk and supports the township's food safety certification. As a resident-facing amenity, a disinfection station at the vertical farm distribution point or community center, it is a visible quality-of-life feature with recurring consumable revenue. Transportable hardened hyperbaric chamber. A portable, reinforced hyperbaric chamber deployable in ambulances, helicopters, combat zones, and hospital wings. For Citiwerx townships that include healthcare facilities, a core component of the smart city quality of life proposition, The transportable hyperbaric chamber provides emergency trauma and wound healing capability at a fraction of the cost of permanent hospital infrastructure. For the veteran community that I serve through my Live Younger Now initiative, hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a documented treatment modality for traumatic brain injury, PTSD, and chronic wound healing. A Citiwerx township with hyperbaric capability is a medically complete community. Integration Synthesis, the complete Citiwerx technology stack. The 6 top GenInvent technologies do not simply add capabilities to Citiwerx. They fill the gaps, the places where the existing technology stack has dependencies, vulnerabilities, or efficiency limits that reduce the value of everything else in the system. The deterministic AI decision accelerator makes every AI-driven decision in the city faster, more accurate, and more energy efficient, amplifying the value of iLamp, the Citiwerx platform, turbogen power management, and drip-drop atmospheric optimization simultaneously. It is a multiplier, not an addition. The full graphene manufacturing system provides the material platform that makes the next generation of every technology in Citiwerx: lower loss power transmission, stronger, lighter construction, longer duration battery storage, and graphene-based computing, achievable within the Citiwerx development timeline. It is the upstream enabler of the city's next decade of capability advancement. The Magic Angle Graphene Photonic Computer Chip takes the Citiwerx computing infrastructure from capable to extraordinary, making the city's AI intelligence layer orders of magnitude faster than any competing smart city platform, giving the AI factory's compute revenue stream a performance advantage that commands premium pricing and creating a semiconductor IP position of global commercial significance. The advanced building electrical system reduces the cost and time of construction across every Citiwerx township from Phase 1 onward, compounding its savings across 130,000 initial units and hundreds of thousands of additional franchise units globally. It is the construction economics foundation that makes the financial model for each franchise more attractive to the developers and investors who will execute them. The automated power line cable release system protects the micro-grid-to-grid interface from the cascade failures that are endemic to India's power infrastructure, ensuring that Citiwerx's energy sovereignty promise is bulletproof at the boundary where the internal and external systems meet. The EPFE fire suppression platform protects the physical assets, the servers, the vertical farms, the energy equipment, the residential units, that underlie every revenue stream in the Citiwerx model. A fire event that destroys a data center, a vertical farm, or an energy generation facility represents losses measured in millions of dollars and months of recovery time. EPFE makes that scenario near impossible. It is the insurance policy that the investment community requires before committing to infrastructure at this scale. Each GenInvent technology addresses a specific gap in the Citiwerx stack. Together, they close every gap simultaneously, making the city faster, safer, cheaper to build, more resilient to failure, and more profitable per unit of infrastructure deployed than any competing smart city program on Earth. And this initial review only is the tip of the iceberg this skunk works is perceived to produce.